Innovation is the way which will improve employability and also increase employment. Why? Because innovation is what enables you to expand your economy. You can increase the economy a bit by increasing production of raw materials, but that reaches a point and it reaches a maximum. And you are working in only 10% of your economic potential. And that can equally only employ those people. In many of the jobs in raw material production are low quality jobs. So if we want to expand the economy so that we can create more employment opportunities, we must adopt science, technology, and innovation. And the education system has to enable that by looking at what they teach, what skills they give the people, such that from those we are able to actually start to practice science, technology, and innovation. Let me give an example. We have been training people in automotive engineering, like vehicles, but most of the training was just about repairing, higher quality repairing. So the person who learned from job does repair. The one who has a certificate is doing only repair. The one who did a diploma is doing only repair. Even those who did degrees, they were also doing repairing. But when we started to innovate in that sector and start to make vehicles, now we have expanded. Within just a short time, we have created, currently we have 150 jobs that we have created. And when we open our factory, which we hope will happen in the second half of this year, we are going to quickly create 600 very high quality jobs. Now, for each of those are the primary ones. Then we hope to create 30,000 secondary jobs. Those are jobs which are being done by those entities that supply Chira Motors, just Chira Motors alone. So that way you create a lot of opportunities, and then the people who come from the education system have where to go. Education system itself, it is required. We cannot continue teaching the way we taught. We cannot continue teaching what we have been teaching. Education itself requires innovation. The way we are delivering, we need to bring in new content, we need to bring in the modern content, and that's the only way that we can enable people to be employable. To be employable, there must be an employment opportunity. But what is missing in most of our graduates is how do you take ideas to the market? Because right now we are operating in the 10% capacity of our sector. And if we just rotate there, skilling people there, and we are not enabling people to get out of there and go into value addition, where 90% of the value is, then even if those graduates have those skills and they can master how to grow coffee because I've had a skill in agriculture, but I'm not going to better other people or myself beyond a certain point. So the repertoire of skills, the skills in what I call a black box, we must open up that area, understand which knowledge is in that black box, which skills are in that black box, and then when we equip the graduates of our education system with those skills, we are just going to fly. For us to begin looking at education differently from what we had deteriorated into. We had really deteriorated into exams and results, and those exams don't link at all with life. You know, a child gets A, but they don't have any, they cannot use that knowledge for anything. They are just an academic giant. And they might even qualify into some profession, but they don't have the skill to make that profession work for them. So I might be a first-class engineer, but then when I get out of there, what do? They look, the jobs they find, they think they are beneath them, but also that is very different from you actually being able to think and be creative and open up new areas in engineering. So the new curriculum is a good beginning for us to think, for us to build people who can think. And if we can build on that in the higher education, the higher education, if we can build on that in the new curriculum. Of course, the first group is going to sit this year. There is still a lot to learn, a lot of learning to do. When we have refined it and it is effective, I think it is going to be a good beginning. We definitely need to keep aligning the content with the future, where opportunities.
One, the lower secondary curriculum methodology being used is interactive, is learner-centered, emphasizes discovery and application of what has been learned. And yet when you look at majority of the subjects at higher education institutions, they use more of the lecture method. So the danger in that is that these learners, having been exposed to a methodology which allows them to explore and engage in research and create their own knowledge, when they go to higher institutions of learning and the methodology is not aligned, it may be a challenge both for the lecturer or the instructor, but also for the learners. So there is need for them to align that kind of methodology to that of the higher institutions of learning. And also secondly, it's because we all know that right now the teacher is not the only person who knows what to teach. The children of today may sometimes even be more knowledgeable than us, and therefore we need to give them an opportunity to explore, to be innovative, to be creative, and to come up with ideas, which ideas can also form part of the body of knowledge. So we need to ensure that the methodologies we are using, the kind of design we are implementing is also changed to make it more of a design which promotes what the learners can do, as opposed to a learner reproducing what they have learned. Because in most of the programs, you find that learners are given an examination and they write on the paper what they learned, but they do not even know how to apply. So we are saying we want a design which promotes the learners doing as opposed to reproducing what they have learned.
Where does this...
We have received complaints from the private sector, people who employ our students, that the students we produce from universities are not employable. They do not have the right sets of skills and attitudes to be able to be employed. So I took particular interest to engage a number of employers, and they gave me a list of things which they complained about. One, that they cannot trust these people. They're not trustworthy. So if you get somebody you cannot trust and put him in the industry, the employer is not going to be comfortable. Two, they have poor communication skills. So they are not able to communicate. They are not able to write reports. They are not able to work in teams. So their teamwork skills are not well developed. Another thing they talked about is time management. They don't know how to keep time, especially when it comes to working to deadlines. The industry, there are deadlines. You must produce this report by this date, so they find that one very lacking. Another thing they cited is they lack practical skills in many of the engagements they get involved in. And another area they raised was poor customer care relationships skills, the ability of these graduates to handle their customers properly. Because in the industry, the customer is the most important person. Whatever you do, you are doing it to satisfy the customer. In fact, other countries say our job is not to satisfy the customer, it is to amaze him or her.